All right, let's jump right into this explainer and explore the totally fascinating hidden biology of the gut-brain axis. It's this biological system that is absolutely vital to our daily lives, but it operates almost completely under the radar. So today we're going to uncover exactly how much control your stomach really has over your mind and how it literally acts as your body's second pilot. Picture this. You're about to walk onto a stage in front of a huge crowd, or maybe step into a massive high-stakes job interview, and suddenly your stomach just starts doing absolute flips. We've all been there, right? We call them butterflies, but obviously there are no insects fluttering around in there. So what exactly is happening physically? Well, what you're actually feeling in that moment is a massive network of 500 million neurons, 500 million, and they're hidden right there inside your digestive tract, reacting in real time to the stress of the outside world. Just let that sink in for a second. That is 500 million neurons firing and making decisions almost entirely independently of the head on your shoulders. It's practically a brain all on its own. Section 1. A massive chemical factory. Okay, so to really grasp why your gut even needs a mind of its own, we have to look at the sheer, awe-inspiring scale of digestion. We can't just think of it as a simple tube. It's a massive, highly intricate chemical factory. Think about what we're putting into that factory. Across the planet, our bodies are processing between 1 and 2.7 kilograms of food every single day. That is a heavy, substantial amount of raw material to break down, sort, and distribute. And amazingly, it happens without us ever having to consciously direct a single thing. It's this automated assembly line that literally never takes a day off. And when you add that daily intake up over an average lifetime, the numbers get crazy. You're looking at a staggering 28,800 kilograms of material. I mean, think about the pure mechanical endurance and chemical precision it takes for one human body to process nearly 30,000 kilograms of matter without just totally breaking down. The volume of wear and tear the system handles is just mind-boggling. To process every last scrap of that material, your GI channel needs serious surface area. We're talking 30 to 40 square meters. To put that massive scale into perspective, your digestive tract has enough surface area to cover half of a badminton court. And all of that is neatly folded, compacted, and functioning right there inside your abdomen. Section 2. The journey of digestion. Running this massive badminton court-sized factory takes some seriously precise timing across a very complex mechanical process. Let's walk through exactly how this machinery operates, tracking the journey chronologically from that very first moment of anticipation all the way down to absorption. These 4 key steps are an absolute masterclass in biological engineering. This process actually kicks off before food even touches your tongue. Just anticipating a tasty meal triggers glands in your mouth to pump out saliva. We produce about 1.5 liters of this stuff every day. So your body is proactively prepping the factory floor before the raw materials even arrive, making sure everything is lubricated and ready to go. Once you chew and swallow, nerves in your esophagus sense the food and immediately kick off something called peristalsis. And this is key. This isn't just gravity dropping food down. Peristalsis is a series of really powerful, highly defined muscular contractions expressly designed to propel that material down toward the stomach. Once it hits the stomach, things get intense. Muscular walls violently pound the meal into chunks, while hormones trigger these powerful acids to dissolve it all into a frothy liquid known as chyme. It's an incredibly harsh, highly acidic environment, perfectly calibrated to break down our food into its base components.
But your stomach isn't flying solo here. Those exact same hormones are simultaneously alerting a really vital trio of organs: your pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. They immediately spring into action, pumping out digestive juices and bile to dissolve fats. They work in perfect lockstep with your enzymes and nerves to keep the chemistry balanced.
Next, as that frothy chime moves into the small intestine, it hits millions, literally millions, of tiny projections called villi. These are what create that massive badminton court surface area we talked about. Their whole job is to maximize absorption, pulling essential nutrients right into your bloodstream to feed your organs. Finally, at the tail end of this incredible 30 to 40-hour journey, nerves in the rectum sense the expanding waste and signal your body that it's time to expel it. That is a multi-day, continuous process managed flawlessly around the clock. The assembly line just never stops. Section 3. Meet your second pilot. So the million-dollar question here is, how does the body actually coordinate this non-stop operation? Who's the manager on the factory floor? Here is the truly wild part. Your central nervous system, that primary brain sitting up there in your skull, simply does not have the bandwidth to micromanage digestion. If you had to consciously track and digest your food, you'd be so totally overwhelmed, you wouldn't be able to work or read or do anything else. You'd be paralyzed just trying to digest your own breakfast. So to save your mental energy, your brain outsources the job to your enteric nervous system. This is that vast web of neurons lining your gut we mentioned earlier. It operates semi-autonomously, basically acting as your second pilot. It handles all the heavy lifting on the factory floor without you ever having to actively think about it. Section 4. Two-way communication. Now, what's genuinely fascinating about this dynamic is how these two distinct pilots act as a highly sophisticated alarm system. They are constantly talking to each other. It's a massive two-way street. Top down, when your primary brain perceives a threat, like the anxiety of public speaking, it sends a distress signal down to your gut to slow digestion and conserve energy for a fight or flight response. But from the bottom up, your gut is constantly flagging invisible threats, sending signals right back up to the brain that deeply influence your stress levels and your mood. It detects things before you're even consciously aware of them. And that sudden drop in blood flow from the brain's distress signal, that rapid shifting in your digestive tract to conserve energy, that is exactly what you physically feel as those stage fright butterflies we talked about at the very beginning. It's literally biological resource conservation in action. Your two pilots are coordinating an emergency response. So the next time you feel a strong physical reaction in your stomach, do not ignore it. It is actually your second pilot communicating with you, keeping the human machine safe and running smoothly. Which really leaves us to wonder, as you think back on your own life, have you ever had a gut instinct that turned out to be completely 100% right?